Bueno, mi mano. Hello there. I'm Scotty. You're not. Starting noises. Uh, Welcome to Big Ten 80's number. Big Ten 80's 2. And we are number 7, 8. 8. Young Guns. Starring Emilio Estevez, Charlie Sheen, Kiefer Sutherland, Casey Kamensko, is his name, I think? Lou Diamond Phillips, and Dermot Mulroney, and Terry O'Quinn, and Jack Palance, and some Chinese woman. I don't know the actress. So I think I said this before, but I've never been a big fan of westerns. Although I have enjoyed the ones that I've watched, like this, Tombstone. I've seen True Grit before, so maybe I do like westerns. I just never watched a lot of them. But this is a sort of historical retelling of Billy the Kid. I'm pretty sure at least 50% of this stuff is bullshit, but it's a movie. What do you want to do? You're going in for accurate, watch a documentary. I'm just saying. Basically, it tells the story of the Regulators, a group of farm hands working for a man named Tunstall, played by Terrence Stamp, who is murdered. And the Regulators then become deputized to hunt down the people responsible. And in the process, become outlaws because Billy the Kid is crazy. And they have to, defend themselves and take down the man responsible for Tunstall's death, a man named Murphy, played by Jack Palance. So, yeah, one of those revenge-seeking westerns. The thing to point out here is that every actor in this does a damn good job. From Estevez to Sheen to Lou Diamond Phillips, everyone. Fantastic acting all around. Especially Estevez, who has to play this psychotic person, this Billy the Kid, that's just... Like, at first... So the movie starts with this cool opening sequence, with musical score playing, and it's like it's weird filter, and the shooting, like opening of a TV series or something. And Emilio Estevez's name is the first one that pops up, and I'm thinking, not Kiefer Sutherland, not Charlie Sheen, Emilio Estevez. Okay, and then it's revealed he's playing Billy the Kid, and I went, Emilio Estevez is Billy the Kid. But as the movie went on, I was like, okay, he nailed it. He nailed the role of Billy the Kid. He is psychotic. I'm thinking of Billy the Kid, I'm thinking a guy who would do whatever. A guy that shoots a light just to get the attention. I want y'all to put your hands together. I'm talking about Bill and Ted, but yeah. And, Bill and Ted is already inaccurate because they had a 30-year-old Dan Shore playing a cowboy that died in his 20s. So, next here is, I think Estevez was in his late 20s at this point, maybe early 30s. I'm going to say late 20s. I think he was that old, but yeah. He brings that comedy, the funny stuff that he can do, like in The Outsiders or Mighty Ducks. He brings that in. And, at one point they're looking at a newspaper and there's a drawing of what's supposed to be Billy the Kid. And it looks like Charlie Sheen. That one got me. Because if you don't know, Charlie Sheen and Emilio Estevez are brothers. And the fact that the drawing looks like Charlie Sheen, to me, was really funny. Excuse me. Pardon me. Nah, that was good. That was a good one. Although, it's never really brought up within the movie that they look similar. Because they kind of do. Although, I always think that Emilio Estevez looks more like Martin Sheen than Charlie Sheen does. Maybe it's because, Emilio Estevez always had a little more fat to his face than Charlie Sheen did. You know, thinking of Charlie Sheen, another thing that kind of made me smile a little bit, and made me, I thought that was kind of funny. There's a point in the film where they're out in the desert trying to figure out what to do, and Chavez, played by Diamond Phillips, finds peyote and gets everyone drugged up. Everyone except for Charlie Sheen. So Charlie Sheen does not want to do drugs. Okay. What? Yeah. And it's a weird scene where they pitch down their voices to make them sound like this because they're all on peyote. Except for Charlie Sheen, of course, who didn't do any of it for some reason. Yeah. I thought the action scenes were pretty good in this. The gun fights and everything, pretty good. I've always loved gunfights in movies. Like Indiana Jones had gunfights, Mummy had gunfights. It's not always westerns, but come to think of it, the Mummy could have been a western if it was set different setting. The Americans were very western-like people, but like I said, Billy is found on Tunstall's ranch, or on a neighboring ranch in Tunstall, and Doc, that's Kiefer Sutherland's character, they bring him onto the ranch as another ranch hand, or I forgot what it was called already. Sort of deal with it, and we established that Murphy is the bad guy and Tunstall is the good guy. Although historical accuracy could throw that around a bit, who knows. But Murphy is very much trying to throw Tunstall off of his ranch. And it comes to no surprise that when Tunstall is killed, it's obviously Murphy that's behind it. Apparently he's got the governor in his pocket. Yeah. There's also this Chinese woman that I mentioned, Yen, who is a love interest for Doc. And yes, I know that Doc was a happily married man at this point, but slamming the doors. But they had to put the love interest thing in there, and it does kind of weigh the movie down because they're on the run. And in the middle of the movie, he decides to just take off and go see her. He goes back to Lincoln, he goes and sees her, and he goes back to the guys. And it's like, what is the point? Like, why? He doesn't get caught. It's just so they can have that scene. I'm like, he's going to end up getting caught, they're going to have to come and save him. Doesn't. There's a lawyer named Alex, played by Terry O'Quinn, who gets the boys deputized by the governor to take in the people responsible. But Billy, being Billy the Kid, they corner this guy. He's at an outhouse, so they have him cornered, and so what do? They send Billy the Kid to arrest him. Of course, Billy shoots the guy, pretends the gun is his pecker too, and then hey, shoots him in the head, which causes more people to get killed on the outside. And I think the biggest non-surprise for me is that 3 of the characters die in this movie, and it's the 3 characters that I've noticed weren't in the second movie. I went, Steve, Charlie, and Charlie Sheen's character aren't in the next movie. Dick, his name is Dick, aren't in the next movie. I wonder if they die. And there's a scene, maybe in the middle of the movie, when there's this guy that shows up, Buckshot is his name, and they corner him in an outhouse, and this time, stupidly, Dick goes to check to see if he's dead. Guy sticks the rifle up. Dick still doesn't stop, and it shoots Dick dead. He's dead. Charlie Sheen is dead in this movie now. Okay, that's one. And it was this point I'm like, okay, so the other two are probably gonna die too. They do. But if you didn't know Charlie was gonna die, you know when he gets married towards the end of the film, just before they're about to go back to Lincoln, they're like, Charlie got married, just randomly out of nowhere. And it is kind of interesting that Charlie Sheen is in this movie and he is not playing Charlie, because he always plays Charlie every other time. Just saying. Yeah. And yes, Charlie dies. And Steve is the other one that dies. Steve is a character that's very weird to me. He's played by Dermot Mulroney, who I've seen in other things. He's a good actor. But in this movie, he's the tobacco spitting cowboy. There's one scene where he's filling it up. Could you stop? I understand putting a little bit of chew in your mouth. This is comically like you big old wad stuff sticking out of his mouth. It's disgusting. It's gross. I don't understand it. Yeah. I do love the scene though. They're at this bar. It's towards the tail end of the movie. They're at this bar. And there's this guy in the bar bragging. Well, they because Charlie wants to get with a prostitute. Again, Charlie the character, not Charlie Sheen, whose character is already dead. The character of Charlie wants to stop slamming a goddamn door. Shakes the whole floor. It's anyway. Apparently they heard me because they just shut it. Still kind of loud, but not as loud as. Anyway, so they're at this bar while Charlie's with the prostitute, and there's this guy there bragging about, he's gonna be the one to kill Billy the Kid. He's a bounty hunter now. Bounty hunters are coming around. He's the one that's gonna kill Billy the Kid. So Billy had a little fun with him. It's like, hey, you're the guy that's gonna be Billy the Kid. Is that your gun? Is that the gun you're gonna kill him with? I should love to see that gun. I'd love to see the gun that's gonna kill Billy the Kid. I just want to hold the gun that's gonna kill Billy the Kid. And like, you know what he looks like? And he starts describing him and everything. So you see him take a couple bullets out of the gun and then give it back to him, so you know something's gonna go down. And then he's like, if you ever see me, let me know. Yeah, I'll make sure to do that. He looks in the mirror and goes, there he is, right there. And like, huh? See right there. Oh, you think you're funny. He doesn't believe it first. And he starts whistling a sad song like they say he does. And that's when the guy tries to shoot him, but no bullets. So Billy shoots him dead. Really, this movie can be summed down to cowboys go to a place to arrest someone. Cowboys go to a place, Billy shoots someone, resulting in a shootout, they leave. They go somewhere else, Billy shoots someone, resulting in a shootout, go to another place. At one point, they have another ranch hand. They claim it's working for Murphy, though that is never verified. And it's Jimmy from Brink with a beard and longer hair, but it's him. Yes, eventually this leads them back to Lincoln after they are informed that by Pat Garrett, who historically is the one who will be responsible for killing Billy the Kid. And they even mention at the end of the film. He's going to be the new sheriff, but he tells them that Alex, Gerald Quinn's character, is going to get killed by Murphy and his men. So they get there, and of course, it's a trap. But Alex is too sick to leave, coincidentally, because they needed some reason to stay there, although the ambush already happened, so I don't know why they have to do the whole he's sick, but okay. And so we get a shootout, during which Chavez disappears the next morning. Chavez disappears, and the others think he turned tail and ran. And so they throw a giant trunk out of the window, revealing that Billy is inside, although he would probably be concussed, have broken bones, but who knows. And a shootout ensues, resulting in the deaths of Steve and Charlie. But Charlie gets one off on the bounty hunter guy, and they go to leave. All right. Chavez comes back with horses. This is where Steve dies, because they just go and take off, leaving Steve standing there, and he gets shot in the fuck to shit. And then Alex gets gunned down by a Gatling gun, or machine gun, if you want to call it. So there's that. And then Billy comes back, shoots Murphy in the head. And I know historically, Murphy was actually dying of sickness in California. But I feel like this is more satisfying, because you want to see Murphy die. So that has to be the last thing you do. We find out that Doc and Yen got married. Yen is also there. She gets thrown into this. Doc and Yen got married. Alex's widow became the greatest cattle herder, I guess. And Chavez went to Mexico, or changed his name, went to Mexico, something like that. And Billy the Kid, eventually, he never left New Mexico, but eventually was gunned down by Pat Garrett and was buried next to Charlie, where it's written pals, because they said they were pals. So that's, although I've already read what happens in the second film, sort of, Cliff Notes. And it feels like they take away from that, but I will eventually do the second film. It's what I plan to put in the sequel-a-thon, which I'm going to have to push. I have to push back sequel-a-thon from April to May. And in April, I'm going to do something else. But, you know, that's for that. I'm also going to start doing 2K23 videos. I have another 2K22 video I want to do this weekend. Now, I have the WrestleMania card coming out on the 13th, 5 p.m. Central Time. And in that video, I say it was the last 2K22 video I'm going to do. Technically, that's still true, because I'll be recording it and uploading it. This other videos I want to do this weekend. So it'll be before that video actually comes out. So technically, I'll be telling the truth. But I'm finishing this. I want to say it's pretty good. I actually enjoyed this movie. Forgot to give my rating. No dice, because I'm going to do Red Dawn next. Just gotta find it. This would be the top one. It is the top one. It is! I'm saving Conan the Barbarian for last. So Red Dawn is next on the list. I already said yesterday that it was gonna be last. And I only need to use one of my 2 mulligans. So that's good. Otherwise, it probably both would have been per Conan. I almost used it for Scarface. I just got that one. Got that one over and done with. Peanut butter. Had peanut butter sandwich for lunch. But Red Dawn original, next. So yeah, what are your thoughts on Young Guns? In the comments, let me share, like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching. I'm Scotty, and I'll see you in the next one.